All right, coming at you live from Vegas to Reno. We're here with Team General Tire, hanging out in the General Tire booth under the awning here at Vegas to Reno. And I got my good friend Jim Riley in the house and representing Azuñia Tequila, General Tire. How's everything going, Jim?
Hey, it's going well. I think we're both getting phased by the sun already.
Yeah, dude, it's brutal out here. I think I'm, going to have 2 or 3 T-shirt changes today, right?
I know, and I can't wait to get to Reno and feel some cool air, hopefully, right?
Yeah, this is it's pretty nutty, man. Yesterday was beautiful out qualifying. It's like 85 degrees with breeze, and definitely not the case today on the blacktop.
Well, I'm going to be sure and thank Casey for having this race in August every year.
Yeah,
not to mention it's my wife's birthday today, so happy birthday, Samantha. Sorry I'm not there. I'm racing.
Yeah, well, and I know she's not normal for her to stay home from races, huh?
No, but she's 6 months pregnant right now, so we're excited to have her second baby. And, yeah, she's a race fanatic. I met her kind of in the scene, and she wishes everybody well and wish she could be out here. But, priorities.
Yeah, things happen, and, Definitely congrats on that. I know your other little one loves coming out to the races, right?
Yeah, her first words, I think, were room, because the car's going by. We actually took her to 24 Hours of Daytona a month after she was born, basically.
Wow.
And we were in the pits with Patrick Dempsey's team. He's a big off-road racer and spent some time with those guys. It was a really good time. But, yeah, it's in her blood now.
Yeah, definitely in her blood. So, let's talk about this event. I know, was it last year? I think you were trying to solo it. I think you had a few problems and stuff like that. Did you get the finish line last year? I can't remember.
Yeah, last year we were soloing it. We trained hard for it. We were on that new Ford motor package, and we were actually having a really good day. And then we started falling apart towards Hawthorne and literally caught on fire in the nighttime out by Hawthorne and really ended our night for us. It felt like we were so close, but, things start catching on fire, you're not going to recover from that too quickly.
No, not at all. Well, and I know following you on social media and stuff like that, and you were just talking with Caitlin from General Tire. You, pretty dedicated to the fitness thing now, right?
Yeah, I think so many people take for granted what we do and how strenuous it is in these cars, and especially as you get a little bit older. We've got to take this sport seriously. It's dangerous out there, and being in good physical shape and doing all the proper maintenance before you get here, I think is equally as important as what you're doing in the car. So, yeah, I've been hitting the gym hard 3 days a week. Great group of people over at Heart Fit in Glendora been taking care of me. Actually, one of my sponsors, GQ6, does hydration drinks. So I've been hitting that up pretty hard for the last week so that we can be out in the car all day tomorrow. As you know, Jim, it's going to be over 100 degrees at the starting line, and at least the first half of the race is going to be that hot.
Yeah, and I had somebody ask me, I actually did a radio interview Tuesday, which is weird for me to actually be interviewed. But the guy was asking me, he's like, Vegas to Reno, how do you train? I'm like, well, 2 weeks in advance, I start getting, strictly fluids and, into me and, lots of water and a little bit of Gatorade, not much, but, a little bit. Said, but mostly water, and getting yourself hydrated. I said, if you start a day or two before the race, that you're done.
Yeah, you're already too late. Your body just can't keep up. It's got to be saturated in your bloodstream. That's why, there's a lot of great hydration mixes out there. The one I use you can get at GNC called GQ6. But, you can drink that stuff all day, and by the time you get into the car, you're good to go. You're hydrated, and your Camelback's just basically going to be kind of that survival thing, because when you pull into the pits, you should be hydrating at each pit when you're filling up. I did have a guy go down on me 3 years ago in the car. He was actually a paramedic. Morning of, I said, hey, you hydrated? He goes, I didn't really do a good job. And, we were concerned about it, and he actually passed out in the car. Fortunately, we were only 6 miles from the next pit, but it took 4 guys to get him out of the car and about 30 minutes to get him back into a stable condition, to walk away from the pit. So, it's dangerous out there, and you got to take this seriously, what you're going to be doing in the car.
Yeah, well, and I totally, I think it was 3 years ago or something, had a mechanical problem and got out of the car and, had to jack it up and was doing some work underneath it and, got back in the truck, and I've been out there for 20 minutes working on the truck and got back in. And, you always try and rush and hustle and stuff like that. Got back in and drank some water and, got back going. And I go, man, I'm not right. I, pulled into the next pit. And my brother, we were about 2 pits before we were going to do a driver change. So you got to get, he was already suited up. He threw his helmet on, jumped in. We didn't lose any time over it. But I had to get out and get some fluids. And, 150 miles later, I jumped back in the truck. But it was it was just one of those things that caught up to me, and I try and hydrate and things like that. You just never know when it's going to hit.
Yeah, and Jim, that's a smart call, too, because if I remember, you're by yourself.
Yeah.
You're out there working on your car. What happens if you pass out, because of the heat? And I always like to throw a baseball cap in the car. We're at General Tire. They always hand a dozen hats off to me.
Yeah.
I try to put one in the car. If you get out in the sun, you got to work on the car. Put that baseball cap on. Make sure you stay cool, and just be smart about what you're doing in the desert.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of that, I mean, 6100 field, I know we've talked about it before, but, you were one of the first guys in 6100. Now I look at that entry list, man, and talk about a stacked field. I mean, you boys are, it's probably one of the, 3 most competitive classes in desert racing.
Yeah, and we're having a lot of fun out there. And, I'm really proud that we were the first vehicle out there, and Camberg came shortly after us, and we built this class. But you're right, to see the amount of cars out there and the vehicles that are being built for the class. We had a meeting this morning about motors and all the specs on that. But I know that we've arrived because the Herps team showed up, and they built a 6100 truck. So, everybody's taking notice. They're building cars for it. Geyser's doing a great job. Mason, Brenthal, all these guys, they see where the sport's going. So you're not in it. Get out here.
Yeah. Well, and and I get hit by a lot of people all the time, and the off-road purists are going to assassinate me for saying this. But I've always felt like 6100 really should be the unlimited desert racing truck class in off-road. I think you look at NASCAR. Everybody's got a little bit of rules, and I think 6100 there's just enough rules to keep budgets somewhat in check.
Yeah.
And I've always felt like if we could flash back 20 years. I think that 6100 and that formula should be what Trophy Truck is today, and I think I don't know. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, Jim, you got a good point because some of these budgets these guys have, you just can't compete with it. But people always want to go out there and do whatever it is they're capable of doing, and that's why Trophy Truck lives for us. But I think when it comes to the competitive nature of what we're doing in off-road, that our class is going to really take over because, like I just said, when you see the Herps start showing up and building cars and putting their people in these cars. They're noticing what the rest of us already know the last 3 years. It's a great class. It's very competitive. The cars are very fast. Our top speed's 127 miles an hour. Who doesn't, that's fast enough.
Yeah, that's fast in the desert, and guys like Robbie Gordon, Josh Daniel, they're good friends of mine, but, you see what Josh has done with a twin turbo, and it's like, is that really the next step? Because I don't know that I could afford to be at that next step. Or Robbie's transmissions, and his all billet aluminum gearboxes, and, I'm looking at that just going, man, is that really the next step for Trophy Truck?
Well, that's another great point because when you look at the finishes, almost every single race, 1 or 2 6100 trucks are in the top 10. And I guarantee you those guys that are in the top 10 are not spending half the money that Trophy Truck guys are spending are the Class 1. So, again, people are going to start gravitating towards what we're doing, especially with more top 10 finishes.
Yeah, and I think, you look at other classes, the unlimited UTV class, it has 3 entries, whereas the step below, which is kind of, a little more, in line with rules, it's got 50, 60 entries. So, but a big part of your program, I know, you started, racing as kind of a marketing tool for your Azuña brand and fun for you. But how is Azuña growing? I mean, I've known you since almost the start of the Azuña brand, and it's pretty remarkable how much you guys have grown.
Yeah, it's been a fun ride. We're 7.5 years into it now. I was just in Mexico last week at the distillery, and we were having some tours down there. But, it's just a great business to be in. It gives us the opportunity to be involved with what we do out here as a sport. And we can sponsor a lot of these activities. Oddly enough, we're kind of outgrowing, as a brand, some of these sports that we're involved with. Not to say that we wouldn't continue to be involved with it, but our marketing program's got to be so much bigger. We're on the East Coast now, in the Midwest, we're in Canada. It doesn't always transcend into off-road, so we're looking at bigger marketing programs, which, is exciting for us because we're selling a lot of cases to go with it. And, because you brought it up, last night I was at the bar, the Golden Nugget, and they are a big partner of ours. Of course, they're a big partner of Best in Desert for the Mint 400. And there was a group of racers next to me at the bar. They didn't know me, but those guys all bought a round of Azuña tequila shots. Just like, hey, man, this is so great. Here they are supporting. They didn't know how to stand there. So, just a big amount of appreciation for the racers that have supported us.
Yeah, well, and I know me personally, every time I go into a bar or something like that, I always look on the shelf to see if they've got Azuña there, and if I don't see it, I'll always ask, and it seems like, 3 or 4 years ago, sometimes there was, what's Azuña? Now, if it's not there, they still know about it, but 9 times out of 10, they're carrying it at this point.
Yeah, it's a good feeling, and, all those things add up, too. Every time you ask, that bartender's going, man, we should get some of that. So It definitely helps. Hey, I know we're at the Roadrunner now in Parker, so that was a big notch off our belt out there, man.
Yeah. For sure. So, what's the plans for tomorrow? I know we got a string of General Tire athletes to go here, but what's plans for tomorrow, buddy?
Yeah, we're not going to solo it this year. We're going to split up the driving duties. I've had a second driver this year that we've been training. His name's Bobby Gibliant. He's been racing in Mexico, and so he's going to do the second half. I'll do the first half and get us where we need to be out in the field. Hopefully use some of my experience to get us there. We're starting midway through the pack. And, just like everybody's going to tell you, we're going to nice, clean, smooth, 75, 85% run and get to the finish line because this is a hard race. Yeah. We all know it.
Yeah, this one definitely, you got to get to the finish, and a lot of guys will 300 miles in and be leading, and then something happens, and, it's definitely, it takes a lot of smarts to win this one.
Yeah, we all want to get in there and go as fast as we can and get ahead of the next guy, but this race really sorts everybody out, and you got to protect the equipment. We've got great tires and components, but, at the end of the day, it's still a hard desert out there, and I don't know if you've seen some of the reports from the north end of the course, but they talked about major washouts, water crossings. The silt beds are going to be there, and the rocks are going to come out with all those washouts, so it's going to be a smart guy getting to the finish line.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, buddy. Good luck tomorrow. And,
thank you. You too.
See you at the finish line for some shots of Azunia, right?
Yeah, it's going to be great. Hey, I know that the hotel is putting on a big party. We're going to be out at the pool. Casey does a great job, so look forward to seeing everybody up in Reno.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jim.
Appreciate it.
Take it easy, my friend. All right, we are here at Vegas to Reno. We just got done with Jim Riley here with the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor. And, rocking and rolling here. It's early in the morning, but, Team General Tire in the house. We're going to see if we can catch up with another one of these drivers. Looks like we got Doc McCrae, CJ Hutchkins in the house. Quite a few guys hanging out around here. Mikey Childress. So, we'll see if we can catch up with somebody. I'm going to yell at Doc here and see if we can get Doc. Doc McCrae, Class 8000 racer, and won this event quite a few times. We'll get him mic'd up here. And how we doing, Doc?
Great. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, you too, my friend. Well, talking about it, Class 8000, I know this race, you've been on top of the box a few times here.
Yeah, we've had some success here in the past. It's a long ways to go. Our stuff usually holds together really, really well for about 250 miles if you run it hard, and then you have to pace yourself to have something on the backside. So you know how it is. You've raced lots of races like this.
Yeah, well, this is what Jim and I were saying. There's a lot of guys you see lead 300 miles in, and they may have a 20-minute lead, and then something happens. In this race, you got to have a whole truck for 550 miles, not just 300 of it.
Yeah, I tell the young kids, save something for the second half.
Yeah. But I always laugh because of finish. There's that last, after the last pit stop. It's not exactly easy to cap this event off. It's like, you're about there and then they throw something at you right at the end.
Well, you see the lights of town and you think, oh, we're getting close. Maybe they deleted that last 30 miles of sucker punch. But no, it's always there.
Yeah, exactly. So, how's your program been? I know, obviously, you guys have been pretty dominant in Class 8000, and, I don't know, how many championships you guys up to now?
We've got 6 in Class 8.
Yeah, and then, what was it, 7,300 before that, Stock Mini, right? And you guys
we had two in Stock Mini.
Okay, and, you were racing both?
You have a really good memory.
Yeah, score and Best in the Desert, right?
No, both score. Both score championships,
okay.
Yeah.
Then you came over to the Best in the Desert side of things.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I remember, man. You guys were pretty dominant there. Even, how do you do it? You just smarts get to the finish line, right?
Well, you know how we do it.
Yeah.
One is you have to work your tail off in the shop.
Yeah.
I think those races are won in the shop,
honestly.
And every race that we don't win, in most of the years, is we just underworked. Yeah. Either I got too busy doing other things, and I have a family and business, and sometimes I can't pour a bunch of time into it. And money won't fix it all. We try to run everything on a reasonable budget also, but it takes lots and lots of time. And, we don't – sometimes we get to the finish line and say, well, we just got outworked, not just on race day, on the month leading up to it also.
Yeah. So. Well, and I know you guys have been, obviously all these championships, all these wins, you guys have been pretty successful with marketing partners. I mean, General Tire, and you've got, numerous sponsors that have been with you for a long time.
Well, it's those loyalty, those relationships are built on trust and performance, and most of these companies that I deal with originally were people that I went out and bought the very best parts you could buy. I went to the races as a young adult, late teenager, and you see the guys on first and second, they have certain types of parts, and you see the guys in third and fourth, and they have other stuff. Well, when I first started racing, I could get the third and fourth stuff for free.
Yeah.
But I wanted the stuff that I saw the guys at first and second had. So guys like King, for example, I used to go and write those checks and buy the very best stuff that I could find. And later, those bills were followed by a stack of stickers. And those, how those relationships are built, is that they will support performance. And so we have lots of the same sponsors that we started with. Casey Highlights, for example, was a contingency sponsor back in the 90s, and here we are, the Casey Highlight Class 8 truck.
Yeah, you guys have been done a heck of a job. So what's the plans for tomorrow? You soloing the whole thing? You stepping out at any time?
No, I'll drive the whole thing like usual, and then my buddy who passed away about a month ago is named Paul Sullivan.
Yeah, Paul, good guy. He used to pit with us here and there.
Yeah, everyone really liked Paul. His kid's going to ride the first half.
Nice.
And then Walker, my 17-year-old son's going to ride the second half, and Walker's mom, my wife, finally gave Walker the green light to drive. So if we have any problems, he'll get some seat time driving. If we don't, there's no time to do that. So we'll do it at a snow race, maybe next month or something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say a smaller race, let him get some seat time.
Yeah, he's been working his butt off in the shop, earning it. So he's ready to do it. But he knows it's kind of bittersweet. He knows if he gets the chance to drive, it's not a good day. He said, so now I can drive Vegas Reno. I said, sir, so you're ready to run 95 in the silt? And he says, no, I'm not.
Yeah, it's what's funny. A lot of guys think they, have it figured out, and my brother was one, and a lot of guys, and then they get in a truck in race conditions like, oh, man.
People at my office ask me, what's it like running that truck? I said, well, it's like running as fast as you can with a pair of scissors.
Which is the truth. Don't trip, right?
Oh, these things will hurt you badly. They're a thing of beauty if everything's going right.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Bad if it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
And he knows that. He knows it.
Well, that's what I've told a lot of people. They ask me the same thing, and I'm like, a lot of people can be fast in the desert. I said, you can drive a Class 8, a trophy truck. Anybody can get in there and drive fast over the whoops. They said the difference that separates them from the guys, that actually have all the experience, they says when the truck gets in trouble. I said because if you don't have the experience to get it out of there, it's going to be a yard sale, and.
You know what most people don't, and I didn't realize this before I got in a truck like mine, is, these long travel trucks in particular. I've never driven a Class 1 car, but truck like yours or like mine, the whole half the weight of the truck sits on a teeter-totter, and that pivot's underneath my seat.
Yeah.
It's not on the back bumper like a regular car. So when you set those things up for big jumps, you know it. Some people don't even know how they drive these things, but you have to transfer the weight. So it's like braking gas, and you're just getting the weight moving. So when those things fly, and you don't see, big jump, a little bit of brake or a lot of gas, you just sort of automatically do it. But you see the rookies doing it, like at Laughlin, they used to crash them big time over those jumps because they wouldn't transfer the weight. They'd kick, they'd stab the nose in, and it's a lawn dart. Yeah. Expensive lawn dart.
Yeah, definitely a lot of weight transfer. It's funny you mentioned that. I was just up at Dirtfish Rally School about a week ago doing kind of brush up there. I do, probably twice a year, and the whole first day is all about weight transfer in those cars and getting them to turn and stuff like that. And there's so much that transitions to desert racing with, talking weight transfer.
Yeah, I've heard that's a really good experience. That'll be one of the things I get to do over the next couple of years. Yeah,
well, when you go, hit me up. I've got a friends and family discount, so I will definitely. We'll make a deal. I'll go up there the same time you do. I always have a good time going up there. So
perfect. Where is that?
Seattle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Weather was beautiful, and not exactly like Parker Vegas weather, right?
No doubt.
So, well, we appreciate you taking the time to stop by, buddy. I know it's a little warm out here, and you probably wanted to find some air conditioning and a cold drink, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Doc.
Thank you very much.
Good luck, buddy. We'll see you at the finish line.
Good luck to you too.
All right. Thanks. All right, that was Doc McCrae. We'll see who else Team General Tire is here. We got Mikey Childress in the house. See if we can catch up with Mikey. I got Travis Chase, Mikey Childress. Get them mic'd up here as they sit down.
Hey, hi, hello.
All right, we got Mikey, Travis Chase in the house. How's everything going, guys?
Not too bad.
Yep. So take us through the plans for tomorrow. I know you guys teamed up, and what's the plans for tomorrow? Are you going to split it about 50-50? How's driving going to go?
Yeah, I'm gonna start. Just try to keep pace, do the best I can, and then hand it off to Mikey so he can push to the finish.
Yeah, we'll see. I get in at like mile 300 in Red Lick, and we'll see what we got to work with and how much time we need to go, and there's still a lot of tough racing. There's another 250-plus miles from there to the finish, and a lot of it's rocky and nasty. And so it'll be see what kind of machine Travis brings me and what I got to work with and what I got to do.
I just got to make sure all 4 wheels are still on it.
Yeah. Well, that's so funny, just talking with Jim and then McCrae and everybody else. It's literally get through the first 300 miles and then see what's left to actually go racing. This race, a lot of guys, you'll see them shot out of a cannon at the beginning, and 300 miles in, they're sidelined or they're working on it. And, this race is, it's like it's 2 races. You just got to get through the first race to actually race in the second. You're right, about Red Lick is where things turn and you have to start really pushing.
And that's kind of our plan. I'm more of a conservative driver, so I'm just trying to get the car to Mikey in one piece and hopefully he has a great car to work with.
Yeah, for sure. So, talking about that, I haven't even looked fully at qualifying. How'd you guys do yesterday? Where are you starting at?
That was horrendous. I didn't get a practice lap in, and I think I start 34th or something like that. So not as good as I should have done, but hey, whatever. It's a long race, and I was talking to TJ, and I know CJ, another GT guy. I mean, they've won it in the 20th spot, 30th spot, just coming back and, pushing and doing what they can. So I don't think we're out of it at all.
Yeah, I think it was Robbie, 2-3 years ago? He started like 65th and ended up getting second overall, I think, or something like that. So, yeah, definitely this race, lots of room out there to make time.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a couple of slower lap traffic guys that, fall out in front of you and you get, 5 or 10 minutes of clear air in front of you, you can race up and beat these guys on time. So, with it being a timed event, and if you get lucky and you get in an air pocket, you can go just as fast as the first guy on the road does.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It's good.
Yeah, for sure. So, how's everything been with you? I know you're bouncing around, and you've doing a little racing and some other things, and married now. I think we haven't talked to you since you've been married, right?
Yeah, I got married in November. It's the same thing now. I just got to wear a ring on my finger. But keeping her happy and my kid's growing up fast and getting tall and being a maniac now. He scares the crap out of me with the stuff he does, but it's fun being a dad.
Yeah, we're gonna see him on a bike at some point. I know Dad gonna put him on a bike like you were.
I'm not pushing him and he's not bugging me. So
tell him about the first time he was on a bike.
Yeah, I put him on a bike. I actually put him on Travis's 50 with some training wheels, and he only knew one speed. He just
he was flat out the entire time. It was funny.
Pinned it, jumping off of bushes and sand piles, and
it was good.
He don't care. So he hasn't really bothered me and said he wants to ride, so I haven't really been putting it in front of him. But I know the pain that comes with the dirt bike, so I'm not really pushing it on him. If he wants to do it, he can do it. If not, whatever.
Yeah, that was my daughter. She's got a little CRF 50, and it was funny. We start out and you got the throttle control, and we'd leave it in first. She had no idea you could shift gears on one, and somehow we're out there, and I'd open it up so she could pretty much go full throttle in first gear, and somehow she bumped the shifter and got into second. And all of a sudden, my wife and I are sitting there, and she's like shot out of a cannon. We're like, whoa, what's going on? She comes in, and she's like, Dad, this is so fast. And we're like, yeah, you weren't supposed to learn that,
Yeah. Meanwhile, your heart stopped.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God. Little kids will give you a heart attack.
Yeah, so what's up for you guys the rest of the year? The rest of Best in the Desert schedule?
Absolutely, yep.
Yeah, we'll finish off the season, and hopefully we can, we've had some really bad luck over the last season and a half, and, General Tire is a huge supporter of myself and Travis, and I want to put the car on the box at least once this year and bring them some results for all the great help that they give me. So
yeah,
it's always in the back of my mind that I want to do good, and it's just we just keep having gremlins. So hopefully the gremlin bug's over and we can do something.
Yeah, well, in Class 1500, I mean, trophy trucks and 6100s and UTVs now, they get a lot of the talk. But 1500, I mean, your guys' times, I mean, it's always, it seems like, a lot of times General Tire drivers, are right there, in the hunt for the overall. It's cars are still ridiculously fast, and you guys such a competitive class still. Maybe not the 50 entry numbers we used to see, but the guys that are there are solid.
No, but yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, the first 15, 20 guys are always quality guys. You always have guys that do onesie twosies, but some of these guys go for the full season and they're pushing hard every single time. It's just, the competition's there.
Yeah, for sure.
A Class 1 car, it sucks that they don't get the notoriety they deserve. I'm a firm believer that a Class 1 car is way harder to drive than a trophy truck. I've driven both, and I feel that a Class 1 car takes not more talent, but it takes a little more attention. I think you can become lazy in a trophy truck and daydream about the hot girls at the finish line.
Yes.
In a Class 1 car, you get your mind off of what's in front of you for 1 second, and stuff's happening. They're really fast, and they don't have as much suspension as a trophy truck, and stuff happens quick, and they don't handle as good, and you get one out of control, and they're hard to get back in control. So I wish the Class 1 car would get some notoriety. The problem is that stupid word buggy, and all the sand guys and everybody automatically relates a Class 1 car with the word buggy, and everybody thinks that we're missing our sand whips, and that's what's frustrating about Class 1 car, because it's not a buggy, it's a legit race car.
Yeah, well, and I had this conversation, and I was actually just up at Dirtfish a couple of days ago, and I compare rally cars a lot to Class 1 cars, and everybody wants to say, how's a rally car compared to a trophy truck? And I'm like, honestly, there's a lot of guys in trophy truck that are really, really sloppy, and they're really, really fast.
Yeah.
And I said trophy trucks are very forgiving, you know what I mean? And I said, I think with a Class 1 car and a rally car for that matter, the precision is just, there's a lot more precision to the driving,
Exactly.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. You got to get your lines down, your points down, your basically your turning points, all that. It's really, really similar. There's a lot of crossover there. Trucks, like you said, they're just super forgiving. You can go sideways through the whoops and just, they eat everything up. Yeah. Buggy, good luck.
Well, and the thing is, you don't have 900 horsepower to bail you out if you get in trouble or something like that, and you miss a shift or something in a Class 1 car, and you're feeling it, for the next quarter mile, until you get back up on the pipe. So, definitely a lot of respect for Class 1 guys. And, you look at the Class 1 guys that have gone to trophy truck, and generally they immediately go to the front, because I think they bring that precise driving, up to the unlimited trucks.
Exactly. And, trophy trucks, they're not easy. But, it's hard. It's easy to go fast in a trophy truck. It's hard to go fast in a trophy truck and not get flats and hit stuff and tear corners off them or crash them. With a trophy truck, anybody can get in and go fast for, 2 miles.
Yeah.
But it's the guy that can get in and go fast and not have to get out of the truck and work on it. Yeah. So, but a Class 1 car, it's tough to just go fast in one. So, but trophy trucks, obviously they get all the recognition. They're a rolling billboard, and they've got sponsors on them, and we're always gonna fight that battle. So
yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate you guys stopping by. I know it's pretty warm out here, and definitely probably gonna get warmer throughout the day. It's pretty brutal, man.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, can't wait to get up to Beatty where it's at least a little bit more elevation.
Yeah, right. Well, I appreciate it, Jim. Thank you very much.
All right,
man.
thank you guys. Good luck. We'll see you at the finish line.
Appreciate it.
Jim Riley said Azunia shots on him. All right, that was Travis Chase, Mikey Childress. See if we can grab CJ Hutchins here in just a second. We got CJ popping over here, and grab CJ for an interview. CJ is no stranger to this event. Won it before. See if we can get him mic'd up here. How's everything going, CJ?
Hey, good. How are you?
Pretty good. Just kind of gave you an intro, but you're no stranger to this race. You've finished on top of the box here before.
Oh, yeah. Lucky for me, this is the same exact course that we did win on. So I feel good. The car's running really strong. Got a new engine package in there, and it's running really good.
Yeah, you guys had a pretty solid qualifying run yesterday.
Yeah, you could throw the blanket over all of us. Second place to where I start seventh we were all within 1 second of each other. That's just insane. There was one big hole I checked up for that the trucks didn't need to check up for, and I think that's what really made the difference. But the car's fast, and I'm excited. I'm in a good spot between two of the top drivers, so I'm right there, try to stay in line.
Yeah, definitely. And talking about this race, we've talked about it with each of the guys, but it's such an interesting race, 550 miles. It's almost like two races. A lot of guys were talking, you almost just, you survive to Red Lick, about mile 300, and then you turn it on and actually race from there. There's a lot of guys that get shot out front and come 300 miles, there's nothing left of the car,
Yeah, definitely. It's still a race of attrition. the speeds are really fast at this race. There's just a lot of high speed, 100-mile-an-hour sections, and the miles click off real fast here. But you got to take care of your equipment. It's got to go 550 miles, and it's a long day.
Yeah. Well, in the Class 1500 field, and a lot of them General Tire drivers. I mean, stacked field. I mean, what's it going to take to put it on top of the box again?
I think we have the package. We've built a great team. All our guys are dialed. We got all our tire changers and everything been practiced to a T, and the whole team's came together really good for this, and we feel good. The car's good, and I think we have a good shot at staying up front.
Yeah, you going to do all 550-ish miles?
Tentatively, the plan is my dad's going to get in the middle and give me a little break somewhere in the middle. Not exactly sure where, just where it works out on pits and everything. Probably between like 4 and 7 or something like that. But we're going to run strong. We'll be out front, get this General Tire car up on the podium, I hope.
Yeah, for sure. And I haven't really looked at 1,500 points. How are you guys sitting in the points this year?
Right now we're third in points. Parkhouse is leading, and Sam Berry is only 4 points behind him. And we are only, I believe, 6 or 7 points behind Berry. So
you guys are just in
all
a
three
gridlock,
of us,
man.
Yeah, whoever comes out on top here, and then just like always, it's going to come down to Henderson. And so it's going to be an interesting second half of the year for the points battle.
Yeah, well, and I guess it's, you guys have a lot of good finishes, so you get those throwaway races, right, or a throwaway race. So it'd be nice to not have to throw anything away, and the other guys,
Yeah, sometimes the throwaway can help you, and sometimes it can hurt you. Generally, with our class, we get low numbers at the Blue Water race. So even if you win that race, that's generally the throwaway race. Even if you get, 5th or 6th at Parker when there's 50 cars is worth more points than winning Blue Water. But these double points races are huge and definitely critical to the championship. So we just need to run strong, no problems, and we'll be up there.
Yeah. How have you seen, Class 1500? I mean, we just talking with Mikey and Travis, the numbers have dropped a little bit, but the competition level, I feel like, has gone up. I mean, you guys are all just so many good drivers.
Yeah, I mean, we might have a few less cars. We still have good car counts. I mean, you're still racing, 40, 50 cars at Parker in the Mint, and, I don't know how you can say numbers are down. It's just somebody says it and then people believe it. But definitely the competition is insane. I mean, there's 15 guys in Class 1500 that could win any day, It's pretty crazy just how many fast guys there are out here. So that's what makes it fun, We want to race the best, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to stop by, my friend, and, good luck tomorrow. Hopefully you can put it back on top of the box.
Definitely. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, CJ. Take it easy. See you at the finish.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, that was CJ Hutchkins, General Tire Class 1500 driver. Took home the win here just a few years ago, 2 years ago, I think. Same course, changed it up last year and, made an adjustment this year to, back to the way it was, and I guess it would be 2013. So definitely a, solid event. And, entry list, I mean, just looking over, we can skip over to Best in the Desert's website real quick and, have a look at, the entry field. But just 333 entries, 40 trick trucks, also known as trophy truck, 50 UTVs, 24 Class 1500 cars, 24 6100 cars. It's pretty remarkable. I mean, looking down this entry list, I mean, kind of skip over here to Trick Truck, and my truck just rolling through here into tech inspection here in just a second. Here at the Aliente in North Las Vegas. But Jason Voss, I mean, Abdeli Lopez, X Games gold medalist, myself. We've got Cameron Steele, a couple of Herbst entries, a couple of McMillan entries. Adam Householder back with that Trick Truck. Haven't seen him in a few years, but he is back and in action. So great to see Adam back, racing with us, and Steve Ologis, him from from the local Ford dealership here in Vegas. He's around, and we got Sean Kroll, TJ Flores, local. He's in action. We got Jerry Welchel in that new truck. Justin Matney, heard he's got a little something up his sleeve with that Geyser entry. Justin Lofton, he's had a solid year this year. Kurt LeDuc, he's making an appearance here. Clyde Stacy. Craig Potts in the house. Rob McCackern, I'm just going down this list here. Menzies, he's got this on his schedule. Bryce, a former overall winner here as well. He knows how to win, and, last year some tough luck with him. He ended up starting at a Robbie Gordon type of thing where he was starting 60-something place. So definitely not his year last year, but, definitely a guy that sitting on the pole has got a good shot. We got BJ Baldwin racing, the Wyricks, a couple of entries with them. Looking over at qualifying yesterday, Bryce Menzies, he was on top. Justin Lofton behind him. And look at these average mile per hour. Bryce Menzies, 89.53 miles an hour. Absolutely absurd, to be honest with you. Almost 90 miles an hour. As his average speed. Crazy. Justin Lofton, he was up in second, and he was actually 3.5 seconds back of Bryce. Had Eduardo Laguna, you can get another young gun. He was in third. Solid effort by him. BJ Baldwin fourth. Abdilly Lopez in fifth. But, as TJ was saying, you got second place through, through ninth, seventh, less than a second separating them. We're talking pretty insane qualifying. Looking down the list, Dale Dondell, the guy that everybody thought may had a shot to take it again. He was on quite the steamroll of pole awards. He finished up in 12th position. Cameron Steele, 13th. We got Tim Herbst, Gary Wyrick, that's your top 15. Tracy Groff out of Canada, stoked to see him, good guy, see him make his way into the top 15, or 16th position, solid effort by him. And then looking down the field, the McMillans 20th and 21st. Definitely pretty interesting, to look at these numbers and some of the guys, towards the back. Herbst not having a great qualifying run. It was I got to tell you, it was a high-speed qualifying course yesterday. Guys asked me, who do you think is going to qualify on the pole? And my original thought was definitely Josh Daniel had a shot. Obviously, he didn't put it on the pole, but that gives you a little indication of how high speed it was. I definitely thought he was the man to put it on the pole, but. Doesn't look like he was able to do it. Looking down this list, it doesn't look like he actually finished qualifying. I don't think, or maybe he didn't qualify. I don't know what was going on, but I don't see him on the list at all. So maybe Josh Daniel having some problems with that twin turbo truck. I know he was definitely out there, but. Must have had some troubles and not finished qualifying. I guess that's a story I need to look into. I'm sure those of you tuning in on social media, you probably already know the answer, but sounds like Josh Daniel definitely having some struggles. Got a couple more General Tire drivers going to be popping in here. We got Spencer Robinson with General Tire. He's going to pop in here in a minute. We're going to kind of find out a little more on General Tire and their involvement in this race. Title sponsor. This is the General Tire Vegas to Reno. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, airing live from the General Tire semi-truck here in the shade, in one of the only shady spots. But here comes Josh Daniel in that twin turbo trophy truck as we speak, pulling in here, and definitely a beastly looking truck. And here comes my truck right behind his through contingency, that number 15. Kind of zigzags around the parking lot here, and definitely a packed contingency early on in the morning. Super packed. Lots of cars, lots of trucks. People trying to get in, get out, get done before the heat hits later on in the day. Right behind me, it looks like we got that Menzies Motorsports truck, in line as well. But this one, it's going to be a hot one, as a lot of the drivers have said. It's going to warm up throughout the course of the day. And tomorrow it's definitely going to be hot. We start out in Beatty. course is about 550-ish miles. I don't have the exact exact mileage, but I can get that for you here in about 1 second. Just hang tight, but looks like exact mileage, 545 miles. Looks like we've got 14 different pits, and like we always said, kind of not necessarily the mathematical midpoint, but the way we have to pit in the Unlimiteds, pit number looks like pit number 9, Red Lick, is kind of we're considering at the middle of the race, mile 307. I know that's where I'm going to get out and take a breather for about 150 miles and then jump back in for the last 100 miles of the event. But, statistically it's about the middle of the event. A lot of us Unlimiteds, we go about 150 miles in between fueling and tire changes. And, we probably stretch on tires to 200, but, you like to bundle things up at the same time and have your fueling and your tires done all at once, so you don't have to have too many pits. So about 150 miles, you figure, guys are going to do that. We're probably looking on averaging probably 65, 70 miles an hour on this course. Could push over 70 depending on conditions. But I hear the north part of the course, lots of rain, lots of washouts. So definitely things gonna slow up. But here comes that number 15, that cyan blue trophy truck of mine pulling through here, followed by Bryce Menzies and that blue Red Bull truck. Definitely looks like my team is about ready to get the truck done here at Contingency and move on. But shot in those nice red labeled General Tire grabbers. Vegas to Reno, this is one of the big ones, the longest off-road race in the United States. We're not too many miles shy from having the longest motorsports event in the United States. I don't know. What is it, Coca-Cola 600? I'd have to look into that. But, if it is, I say throw some more mileage at it and, let us be the longest one. I'm sure there's some cross-country road rally or something that, they would say would take the cake. But I'm talking about a yearly sanctioned event. I don't know. Vegas to Reno got to be right in there with a Coke 600 as one of the longest motorsports events in general in the United States. So I don't know. That would definitely be an interesting one to look into and see what the correct answer is. But, Rigid Industries teammate Bryce Menzies rolling by. Kind of a little bit different to be flying solo at this one, doing radio by myself. Normally, these remotes, I got my sidekick Amy Hood with me, but she's up in Canada racing dirt bikes right now. So definitely not here, but definitely wishing her luck this weekend. But, it's solid, turnout here. And, the boys from General Tire, we're looking to put a few trucks on the box. But looking at the schedule of events for the week, I guess the weekend, skipping over here, and we're going to give you the rundown on the schedule of events. But yesterday we had qualifying. Looking at Thursday, though, we got the driver-rider registration this morning. A lot of guys, getting registered that haven't yet. We got car, truck, motorcycle, quad, UTV contingency inspection. That's where we're at, airing live. And then, we're here at the Aliente, and then we got a driver's meeting tonight. We also, don't forget, 1 o'clock, we have that big press conference from Best in the Desert. They're going to be announcing, rumored to be 3 new events for 2016. So I will definitely be there. I'll probably be live tweeting from it, but definitely looking forward to seeing what those announcements are. It's going to be definitely going to be pretty exciting to see what Best in the Desert has up their sleeve. Sounds like they've got some game changers on tap for 2016. So looking forward to hearing those, and heard even more changes possibly in store for us in 2017. So lots of good stuff coming out of Best in the Desert, trying to solidify themselves or continuing to solidify themselves as the number one desert racing organization, in North America. And definitely, with events like this Vegas to Reno, almost 350 entries, they're definitely well on their way to doing that, and talk about UTVs real quick, because we haven't talked a whole lot about them, but UTVs, man, it's pretty amazing how many UTVs are showing up here, and the builds, and talking with a lot of these UTV teams before we went on air, I mean, it's just it's crazy how big and fast this sport's growing. And talking with just about everybody involved in that industry, and a lot of people not outside of it. I mean, I'm talking trophy truck guys talking about building UTVs for certain events and certain races. I mean, it's just crazy the amount of attention that industry has got, the people that are looking at it. And you guys follow it. You see social media. You see the amount of people and companies getting involved. But talking about even some non-endemics that you wouldn't expect looking to get involved in that industry. It's just absolutely exploding. You hear the little horn in the background. That's what I love about these remote shows. You guys get to get a feel of a lot of the background noise here and things that are going on. It's always quite cool to get the sounds and emotion from an event like this. This definitely got a different vibe from the Mid 400. There we always do radio for 2 to 3 hours. Here we're capping it at 1 hour because of the heat. A lot of the drivers want to get into the air conditioning as we wait for that drivers meeting later today. We got about a 2-hour drive up to Beatty for the start tomorrow. So guys are going to be in there tonight and trying to get in their cars and get up there so they can get rested. Early start tomorrow. Long race day. About 10 hours of driving for the overall finishers in the unlimited classes. Some of the limited classes looking at possibly up to 20 hours of time. Pretty crazy, but definitely all good stuff, and it's pretty awesome event here, and looking here at the General Tire rig, lots of people coming in checking out the tires. I'm looking at this new Grabber MT they've got on display. Got some guys on the UTV side of things testing the tires out, and got Ryan Beat, who I think has taken a victory on this Grabber MT earlier on this year in short course racing. But, the latest tire from General Tire, definitely an aggressive, awesome tire. You're looking for a tire that will literally, quote, grab things. Definitely the Grabber MT. And, this General Tire's 100th anniversary. And you got to give them a lot of, respect and credit for the investment they made in not only off-road desert racing, but short course. And, the team of athletes and, that they've assembled and their support. I mean, not only with drivers and teams, but with series and websites and media and marketing. I mean, it's definitely a full-on investment for General Tire, and definitely good people, a great brand, and I can't even tell you, 100 years. It's remarkable. I mean, very few companies, in the United States have been around 100 years. I know Ford Motor Company a few years back celebrated their 100th anniversary, but you literally can probably count on 10 fingers how many companies have been around for 100 years and still doing what they originally did. A lot of companies have been around 100 years, but they're selling completely different products now than they did when they started, and that definitely not the case with General Tire. But looks like we got a holdup here at Contingency. I don't know what's going on, but a lot of trophy trucks stacked up here and waiting to get inspected, get on the trailer, and get 2 hours away up the road to Beatty. That's right, this event starting in Beatty, Nevada, ending in Dayton, Nevada. Beatty about 2 hours from Vegas, Dayton about an hour from Reno. So, it's always been an inside joke in off-road circles, about, the name here. But, man, it's definitely a solid turnout here, and from the likes of a lot of the drivers hanging out around the casino last night. Everybody excited. You heard it from Team General Tire earlier today. They are pumped. It's going to be an awesome event, and see if General Tire can bring it home once again, and bring it home once again, and put one of these red labels on on top of the box. I definitely think it's it's not going to be easy, but it's not going to be easy for anyone. But I think I think General Tire definitely has a solid shot at it. But wind's starting to pick up here. You hear a little mic noise there, and see if we can grab one of these guys from General Tire here for a second, and do a quick interview and kind of talk about the event and the turnout here. But Team General Tire surrounded here. We got Harley Letner's car on my right, CJ Hutchkins' car on my left. Man, that wind is picking up, blowing stuff around. You can hear it. And let's hope race day this wind keeps up. Definitely definitely would be a good thing for us drivers, But, things 120 miles away could totally be different. You never know what's going to happen up there at Beatty. Good news is it's definitely going to be a lot cooler up there than it is here. So, that's, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. We'll see how well it works out, right? But, I did want to give a shout-out to our boys at racedesert.com. They're going to have live tracking this event. It's looking over right now. They're updating from contingency as we speak. Doing a lot of coverage. Lots of pictures being posted up. Lots of stuff from contingency already going on. They've got qualifying results up. They're going to have a live radio stream tomorrow. They're going to be doing live radio from the event tomorrow. So definitely look out for that. They're going to have a stream from Best in the Desert of things going on, what's happening, and then also live tracking and a scoreboard so you can follow the leaders along the way. It looks like every 100 miles, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, and the finish, they're going to have updates on the trackers so you can kind of track the racers on corrected time as it goes along, follow along. So race-desert.com is going to be your source for all that information. And then also got to talk about IRC. They're going to have tracking over there as well. So if you want to track the little bubbles going around on the course, you can definitely do that at IRC. Myself, I'm going to have some guys live tweeting and updating, Facebook for me while I'm in the vehicle. But definitely lots of sources to get your Vegas to Reno info. I would say racedesert.com, though. They've got a special forum thread set up there as well. So, they are definitely going to be probably your number one source. They're working closely with Best in the Desert on making this live event coverage happen over there. And you got to thank General Tire because they are the sponsor of that coverage. Just got a shirt thrown in front of me, and I got to say, pretty stoked. I made the event T-shirt for Vegas to Reno. So I am kind of the poster child for the event T-shirt for Vegas to Reno. So pretty awesome stuff, man. I got to tell you, I'm pretty excited about that. Not every day that happens. Probably the first time in my career I've been kind of the face of the event. Race Desert has got me on their, on the front page for their event coverage, and here we are. Best in the Desert's got us on the T-shirt for Vegas to Reno. So pretty excited about that. Always good stuff, and nice to give the sponsors a little extra love. But cool stuff. So we're here live from the General Tire Semi here at Vegas to Reno, and kind of winding things down here, watching some of the trucks go through and finish up. It's going to be a great event had by all. Got CJ Hutchkins, look like he's signing a few autographs there, and. Team General Tire looks like they've dissipated. They're finding their air conditioning like we talked about. Definitely going to be a great event surrounded by grabbers, both the MT and, the grabber red label and the AT2s. So, I am definitely knee-deep in General Tire rubber at the moment. But, this is the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor, and we're airing here at Vegas to Reno, and a little fast forward to a Monday show. A lot of you probably wondering on who we're going to have guests there as well, but looks like we're going to have, proud to announce that Cameron Steele and Matt Martelli both going to be on air, so we're going to have them, and should be solid having them kind of talk about the state of desert racing. And then, we're also going to have a couple of special guests. I'm working on two big special guests, one for Amy Hood's segment, and then another special guest that I can't announce, but definitely a big-name short course racer we're working on having to kick things off. So potential 4 big guests, and possibly the winner here at Vegas to Reno, the overall winner, all on air at on Monday. So Down and Dirty Radio Show definitely going to have you covered as far as action motorsports go. And, I think at this point we're probably going to sign off here. It's been a great show. Got Team GT interviewed, and things are heating up, warming up. But once again, race-desert.com. That's going to be your source for all Vegas to Reno information. And big shout out to General Tire for letting us air and interview the drivers here at Vegas to Reno. And always a good time hanging out with my boys at General Tire. And, I'm going to get a nice big glass of ice water, try and stay hydrated for tomorrow, and see if we can put that number 15 on the podium. But thanks to all of you for tuning in. And, once again, give General Tire a follow on social media, Instagram. They're going to be posting up stuff from Team GT all weekend long. And definitely check out the red labels, the new Grabber MT, as well as the AT2 tires. They've got them all on display here. And, check out your local General Tire dealer, and support them. They definitely support the sport. Give me a follow at JimBeaver15 on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook.com/DownandDirtyShow, DownandDirtyShow.com for all our back episodes. I guess I will see you guys Monday on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, and have a full event recap and tell you my story and probably quite a few driver stories when we come at you. But thanks for tuning in to this remote broadcast brought to you by General Tire here at Vegas to Reno. Always fun, always a good time catching up with Team General Tire, and we'll see if we can put one of these trucks on the box here. I don't know. Before we sign off, we may have Spencer Robinson from General Tire. Looks like he's getting tied up with Lucas Oil Productions. That's right. This is going to be aired on MAV TV. But solid crew. Looks like he's tied up. So we are going to sign off here. This has been a great hour of radio here from Vegas to Reno. But thanks to all you tuning in, and we'll see you Monday on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. As always, game on.